So you're waiting on communication, but it's not coming, and you don't quite know why. You feel like there is something that's preventing a masculine energy from reaching out and talking to you, but there is an intuition that whatever is holding that masculine energy back is not so much an external force as an internal force. And you're kind of confused about that. Now, I tried to do this reading earlier today and it would not post. So I'm going to try to do this again because I think I have some insight into what's going on. So first of all, someone is in an extremely imbalanced situation. Now, this can be you, of course, and it likely is. But it could also be that this person that you're waiting for this communication from was in a past relationship that could have potentially ended in legal action or needs to end in legal action. So this could be a divorce or some contractual obligation. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a work contract of some kind. But whatever it was causing this person to be incapable of giving your relationship and your connection as much weight as it truly deserved. And the thing is, this caused a lot of anger and frustration because there was almost this refusal by this person to make any kind of change. Now, the reason why this could indicate another relationship is because we have the devil here. We also have the Page of Wands energy, and there is this baby here. And I was getting baby mama drama vibes. And the idea that I think that in some cases there are people who are watching these readings that are convinced that the only reason that their person doesn't reach out is because of some kind of karmic energy that's preventing from doing that. Now, I see these comments all the time. They'll be like, oh, yes, this is the karmic. She doesn't want him to talk to me, or it'll be the mother. The mother is the problem, blah, 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 blah. But the truth is that's not really what's going on. Now, there may be external circumstances that function as excuses for this person to not reach out. But ultimately, they're not reaching out because they are underdeveloped. This is not their child. It's not someone else. This is them. And they are not making the change. And I think they have you on the hook. And it's literally killing you. And every day that you externalize the reasons for them reaching out to you, it's preventing you from really seeing the truth. And sometimes the truth is painful here with this Knight of Swords and this Ace of Swords. Sometimes the truth is painful. But I think you are fast realizing through maybe watching my readings, maybe starting to understand that these messages aren't so much about the sort of shallow external energy. It's about something much deeper, something within you that would cause you to find this kind of dissatisfying connection enough to keep you on the hook. This person is balancing you with a potential addiction, another partner, their career. They're not prioritizing you, and they're not doing anything to explain to you why, because I don't think they know entirely, but you do. You do. And I think that sometimes, even though you do know this, it's very difficult for you to accept. Now, you have this idea of what the masculine energy is supposed to be like, supposed to show up as this protector and this provider, somebody who protects the innocent, somebody who is able to ward off the typical issues and stressors that would cause somebody to lose their focus and not be able to be in command of their emotions or in command of their environment. And that's what you are idealizing. Now, I'm guessing that there may have been an imbalance in the parenting dynamic that you experienced. So this can come from either a feminine or a masculine energy. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. But something toxic, something where there was emotional unavailability, something where you were constantly seeking this validation from this guardian energy that you just couldn't ever receive for some reason. And this has caused you to have a vision of an ideal relationship that's grievously distorted by the reality of what you experienced. And the fantasy of what could be is somehow what you normalized as the feeling of love. But it's not love. That's not love. That is how you might have experienced it, but that's not how you were meant to experience it. And unfortunately, this cycle that you've been in has caused you to destroy a lot of really great opportunities, either career or relationship, because you held on to this image of the past, and didn't really process what was going on underneath the surface, which I'm seeing here is a lot of heartache and pain. But I'm sensing that you are like, put a fork in it, done. Like you are now, especially through these readings, starting to understand that a truly ideal partner is somebody who actually shows up for you and takes action. Someone who matches your energy. Now, obviously, these are zombies. And in this deck, in the King and Queen of Wands here, these are the problem, okay? So I think that your role models for the King and Queen of Wands were not ideal. You did not see an ideal relationship in your life expressed early enough to be able to form the foundation that you would need, the healthy foundation that you would need to attract a partner like that. But don't despair, because what I'm seeing is that everything that you've built up in your mind as ideal has started to crumble now, partially because this person has not done anything about this communication, and I think has even offered lies and deceit in some way, and that never withstands the test of time. And so you are starting to let it go. It is starting to fall away. I see you here in a divine feminine energy, protecting your inner child who was harmed by some kind of energy from the past. And this is where your balance is. So the ideal feminine and masculine energy that you always fantasized about, you're now understanding that it's been your responsibility in this life and through this, like whatever you're experiencing recently in relationships, it's been your responsibility to heal. So that rather than having this toxic energy that you perhaps grew up around, and this can even cover the media too, like really poor images of relationships. I know in the United States, very typically we see depicted the nagging wife and the husband who complains about the ball and chain. That's not necessarily a typical depiction in Europe. And in other countries, it's not quite like that, but specifically in the U.S., it's been something that's been very toxic in our culture in a general sense. And everywhere all over the world, the patriarchy has really distorted the balance between men and women, between masculine and feminine energy, even when that's not referring to gender, just heteronormative relationships. So I think that you are really healing these old beliefs, and that's supported here by the Hierophant, which is at the top of the deck. So this is traditional beliefs. And I see this Knight of Wands is like waving goodbye to them. The Knight of Wands is somebody that's very, like, this is the typical player energy, hot and cold, here today, gone tomorrow. And I see a victory over this coming up for you with the Six of Wands. And for the first time, I think, in a while, the true ideal blissful paradise that you have always been desiring, I think it's actually more possible for you now than it ever was before, because you've started to define for yourself what it truly means. You find this in friendship and connection. This is the Three of Cups, in harmony with others. And it's not necessarily just that idealized union with the divine masculine. I think you've put down the burden of that, of all of the readers that are out there, honestly, just really misunderstanding a lot of this journey and telling feminine energy that it's her responsibility to heal the masculine energy. It's not. That's not. It is our internal energy, which we use the term feminine because it's within. It's that energy within that helps us, if we are constantly referring to it through our intuition, to heal the actions we take in the material, which is the masculine energy. So I'm seeing big changes and good fortune coming up for all the work that you've done. And you should be really proud of yourself, because you have overcome a lack mentality in some way, and this leads to abundance. So I'm glad I didn't get that reading out today, because this reading is much more cohesive and I think is going to help you a lot more. Make sure you're clicking the link where it is and helping me out, supporting me in all the ways that you can.